Welcome to this week's episode of Unforever LFC of Liverpool vs West Brom player ratings and match analysis. Well, firstly, I've got to say, I'm so relieved that we got it through. We got the 3 points, we made it happen, and I would have been absolutely gutted if we drew or even had anything other than a win. It was an emphatic performance by our attackers and every single one of our players. As far as I'm concerned, that was one of the best games that we've had. West Brom has been a voodoo team for us. Just as Hull has been, Southampton, etc., etc. We haven't been able to get a good set of results against them. And I can't remember the last time we actually dominated the entire game against West Brom and came out with the win. Yes, we all remember the 2-2 draw last year and Klopp's emphatic celebrations where he took the players out and they all held hands and appreciated the fans. And you could just feel that things were going to be different, especially after that terribly boring United game. So initially when we started, I saw that we got out the blocks really quick, and West Brom, as usual, would try to break us down. And for about the first 20 minutes, our players were quite quiet. We didn't get enough passes together. We didn't have that attacking threat. And then I don't know what happened, call it divine intervention or what may it be. We just clicked into gear and everything just kind of fell into place. Coutinho, I think that was the best dummy I've ever seen in my life, because even though it didn't lead directly to a goal in a sense, it switched everyone. He caught everyone off guard, and that just shows what he's capable of, his genius. And you can call me biased because I'm a big Coutinho fan, but any Liverpool fan, any one of you guys, would never hesitate to admit that when he left that dummy, you knew something was going to happen. And as it did, great interlinking play between the midfield and the three attackers. First time ball in by by Roberto Firmino. And what a first time finish by Sadio Mane. I've been a bit hesitant on complaining about the fact that he's a bit inconsistent, but I mean, he's still new. It's only been a few games, but you can see what he's capable of. And you can see that he's confident, he believes in himself. And, 1-0 up. We dominated every other aspect of the match afterwards. And before you know it, Phil comes in, takes a death touch to his right. And I've always been one to criticize Coutinho for always going for that near post because he's trying to catch the keeper off guard. But, I mean, eventually it has to come off. And it did in this circumstance. And it all stemmed from the fact that we put pressure on a horrible hospital boss to Foster. And I mean, that's what we're all about. We're all about winning the ball back as quick as possible. And that's what we did. So, for the segment of player ratings, I'd give Karius a 6.5. He didn't have much to do. And, of course, we conceded from a set piece. And I feel we got a bit unlucky because the way it fell from Macaulay, I mean, it bounced off his shoulder, and I mean, he basically had an open goal because Karius was obviously going to come out and had no chance afterwards. So yeah, Karius a 6.5. I felt Nathaniel Klein, I'd give him a 7.5 because, he's ever reliable and he was a very good attacking threat. He could have had a goal if he just kept calm, and a piece of brilliance by Roberto Firmino with a little pirouette in order to play the ball into his path. Joel Matip and Dan Lovren, I'd give them both an 8 because they bossed Solomon Rondon and Nasser Chadli, who are big units as well. So they hardly had any opportunities. And I got a bit nervous towards the end where West Brom broke out a few times and got out of defense, but I felt we handled it really sufficiently and effectively. So I would say that I'd give them an 8. James Milner, he's a workhorse. He's always going to put in a shift, and he did exactly that. Felt he could have done a bit better with the header in the first half, our first opportunity. Our midfield three of Henderson, Lallana, and Emre. I'd give Emre a 7. I still feel he's a bit against the ropes in a sense. He's not at his full match fitness, but he'll get there. You saw signs of what a good box-to-box midfielder he is. His vision, his passing ability, and his work rate. That's kind of what we really needed. Obviously, Jordan Henderson, that new 6 role, I'd give him a 7 as well. I felt he could have done a bit more, but against a team that continuously defends, we're obviously going to have the ball a bit more. So I just feel he could do a bit more in terms of picking the right passes and trying to get more forward and allowing Emre and Lallana to also help him defend, because we know he's not an out-and-out number 6 and he's still developing into that role. And I know a lot of us are beginning to get convinced that he can be there. He just needs to make the right decisions as far as I'm concerned. Adam Lallana, 8 all day. You cannot fault his work rate and his creativity. We all love it when Adam Lallana hits those Cruyff turns, and I know the whole crowd goes crazy, and I did as well. You could see he was a missing link against United. And in this game in particular, he might not have had an assist, or he might not have had a direct impact on the goals, but you could see his tenacity, his skillfulness, and his vision contributing every way possible. And that's why I feel that he's a vital component in our team. And when he's missing, a part of Liverpool mechanism is missing, and our attacking play, that direct link between the midfield and the 3 attackers, that is who Adam Lallana is. So yeah, our front 3, I mean, the terrible threesome, that's what I like to call them, because they can devastate any defense. Roberto Firmino, Sadio Mane, and Felipe Coutinho are going to be one of the most threatening attacking players the league will see this season, and I can say that without a doubt. So I'll start off by giving Felipe Coutinho, I'd give him a 9. He's my man of the match. He sparkled. He sparkled against a defensive team which we never thought possible. And he's beginning to show exactly what he's worth. Being more consistent, he is becoming more feisty. He's won the ball back more than any other player, which just tells you how he's evolving, and he's going to be up there. And I have no doubt that he's going to be up there with the greats. I just hope that we can secure his future so that no one can say he's just another player that is going to be sold on. I cannot continue to praise Felipe Coutinho. He has a special place with me because I just base everything that I am as a player around him. But anyone that even doesn't know anything about soccer can tell you that he's something special, and he showed that. He was so direct, he was so creative, and he looked like he was having fun, and that's what it's all about. So my man of the match, Felipe Coutinho. Roberto Firmino, I felt he should have gotten himself a goal. I don't know. I just feel Ben Foster was on another planet in terms of his reflexes. It's probably the best game I've ever seen him play. Roberto Firmino did everything right besides finishing. Any other day, you would back him, which doesn't necessarily mean he had a bad game. I'd also give him a high 8, maybe 8.5, because I feel that he did everything right. Like I said, he worked tirelessly. He continued to defend and attack, which is very weird for number 9, but he's doing it, and that's why Klopp favors him. His trickery, his vision, his skill, all that was ever present. You know, we all love a bit of Bobby Firmino in a game, doing those pirouettes, making players look the wrong way, and it was amazing. It was amazing to watch him. And even though he didn't score, he assisted with that first time pass to Sadio Mane. Even though he didn't score, you can see what he brings to Liverpool and the way we play when he's on song. And it's going to come. Goals are going to come, and once they start coming, I feel we're just going to keep the ball rolling, and we need to destroy teams like these that just sit back in defense, which they are going to do when they come to Anfield. And lastly, Sadio Mane, he's got to get an 8.5 as well, as far as I'm concerned, because he was devastating down the right-hand side. And the fact that we don't play with the set structure up front, and they continuously interlinking and changing positions, It's confusing the hell out of other teams, which is brilliant because they can't defend in one particular way because we always interchanging. So they don't know who to mark and they can confuse and we can just capitalize, which we did. I feel Sadio Mane, there's still a few things he could work on, like his end product and the fact that he could play passes a bit more earlier. But I mean, that would come with team chemistry and the way Klopp will play. Of course, it was not 100%. It was not a perfect performance by any standards. It was one of our best ones, like I said, how I feel. But we still got to address the fact that we look so vulnerable when under pressure in a set piece situation. And we really need to address that. I think as time goes on, Klopp will realize what he needs to do and give his players the correct directions. And I feel that us as supporters in the crowd, we really need to be behind our players, because when we conceded a corner, West Brom supporters rejoiced like they were getting a goal. And believe it or not, they got the goal. Which is kind of upsetting because as a supporter, you don't want to be so negative and to have negative thoughts towards your team. It's just, we know our defensive frailties in terms of set pieces. And we can improve. We've got the height. We've got the strength. We just need to get the execution right. And I think once that's sorted out, and once we confidently defend a number of set pieces in a positive way, that's just going to increase our confidence. And in saying that, that's going to increase the confidence with our keeper. Now, Karius showed what he's capable of in terms of his distribution, which I felt was a lot better than any of his other games. So maybe we are making inroads, and we just got to stick with him and have confidence in him. And we'll probably see the best of Karius to come. It's still early days, and he's still a young keeper. And, I mean, he wouldn't have got all the accolades and all the praise that he did get if he wasn't anything special. So what I feel is just we got to get behind our team and just have a bit more confidence and faith in them. And obviously, we supporters around the world, I'm in South Africa, but the Anfield faithful, if anyone is watching this, I urge you to tell your friends, tell your family, just get behind our team. You never know how much one particular person can make so much of a difference if the message is spread. So I'm trying to spread the message to all Liverpool supporters all around the world. Just get behind our team, whether you're behind a TV, listening on radio, watching the game live, or even watching, reading it on your feeds on whichever app you prefer. Just get behind your team. You never know what kind of impact it might have. And in saying that, it's just gonna escalate. So thank you so much for watching. Please feel free to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, guys. Cheers.